You are tuned into the famous Dwayne's podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne, obviously.
Yeah,
With
obviously.
me is two good friends from way back in the day that seen me before, being a social media personality was a thing. My boy BG and my boy LA say what up to the people.
What's good? What's good?
What's up? What's up? LA in the bill.
So we're talking about men in marriage. And I figured it'd just be fitting, two guys that I knew from college when we were everything but husband material, you know what I'm saying, out here in these streets, in them suites, towers,
The towers,
the highways, the
suites.
byways, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the fact that we're all married now is kind of crazy, So kind of we just wanted to we always hear about women talk about marriage and, whatever, I roll, but you never really hear like men have an honest conversation about it and, what it really means to men. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'll start with BG because he showed up on time. BG, what does marriage mean to you? Like, first of all, I guess tell us how long you've been with your wife or whatever, and just kind of tell us like what marriage means to you, like what made you want to marry
Altogether, we've been to, as a couple, 11 years, almost 12. We just celebrated our 5th anniversary in September. Honestly, growing up, I knew I wanted to be married, but I never knew how soon, if I would ever meet the right person. And we honestly came together by a mutual friend that we both, had interactions with. She, knew her pretty much, her whole, I guess, life almost. And I knew her for a few years. And we kind of kicked it off, you know what I'm saying? We had a lot in common. And the conversation was always great. So I was intrigued just by that fact from, intellectual standpoint. So it was dope like that. So I actually started, dating her while I was in college. So that alone says a lot. A lot of guys don't seriously date in college. It's
her?
it's it is what it is. You're here today,
Not
you're
at
gone
all.
in the morning type thing for a lot of guys.
Mhm.
So a lot of other guys that I know from college, with us, ended up, being married or being in serious relationships as well. But that can be a trying time for a lot of people. But for us, we made it work, being kind of semi long distance, but, we talked on the phone, text all the time, stuff like that, normal stuff that couples do or whatnot. But her personality, the similarities and things that we shared together really brought us together. And I would say probably the first, 2 or 3 years, it was just us learning each other and finding out, what we like, what we dislike, and making it work for us, being that, I was in school, she was working, doing her own thing, in school and everything as well. So um, it's a multitude of things. I could go on for days, honestly, and, talk about what kind of made me gravitate towards her. So, I mean, it's various things. I'm a very strong person that connects with other intellectual beings. I always kicked it with y'all. We laugh, we joke, we talk. We gonna, talk trash, whatever. But we always had deep intellectual conversations too. If it came down to it, and for those times. So that's something, just with her, man. We could be goofy one second, and the next second we talking about politics and stocks, bonds, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. It was like, I won't say she was like one of the fellas, but in a way, it was kind of like how we were at the same token. So uh, I could say, I really met that match that complimented me, and we complimented each other to be a team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, LA. Tell us your story.
My story's kind of funny actually because it's funny I talk about that because when we was in college we would all hang out. I think all of us was from different places, New York, we had, Mike from Alaska, I'm from, Buffalo, and we was all like, we would hang out and we would party and do stuff, but we actually sat down and was like, you know what? Yo, we need to study. Let's get some homework done. Like I remember us going to the library at the same time while people was going out, and we was still having like big conversations about like life in general. So, and we weren't high. So, we weren't doing none of that stuff. It wasn't like we was drunk or high, like we had this crazy kind of like, no, we was legitimately having conversations about everything. So it was interesting. It's just, like BG was saying, we always been intellectual beings. So kind of what he was saying when I first met my wife is funny. I met her at a Walgreens. I was working, I came back to Buffalo. I had just left Virginia. I was in Virginia Beach still after college. I think I stayed there for like 3 years. And I met her at a Walgreens, and I was looking for another job. I was looking for something to do, maybe in the tech field. She was working for an educational tech company. Now, I didn't know, but I had saw in Walgreens. I was like, I remembered her face, and it may sound like a corny pickup line, but I wasn't trying to pick her up. I was like, hey, yo, I know you from somewhere. Your face looks familiar. And she was like, oh, I know who you are, Leanders. Like, knew exactly who I was. And it was because I ran against her high school for track. We were rival schools, so she knew of me from that. And we started off as friends, man. We just kicked it. I was looking for people to hang out with, just got back. A lot of my friends from high school was either dead or not around. Just, I can say, man, there's a lot of people from high school that ain't here now. So it's like, man. So we hung out, we kicked it a couple of times. I was actually still talking to another female. And before, like, I had to literally cut it off with her because I was like, this girl right here might be something. Like you said, intellectually, like I felt like I could be myself. I didn't have to put on no masquerade. I didn't have to be this dude. I didn't have to dress. I mean, I still, dress a certain way, but I didn't have to have this guard up, right? That Black men we have to have sometimes when we're trying to court women. And she was just real. She was genuine, smart, intellectual. So she was working for educational tech company. I hadn't even heard of that. So, we became friends. We started dating. I had got a job offer to come to Ohio to work with the Cavaliers and the Browns, work with Intel on this cutting edge project. And I was worried I was gonna lose her because I was like, man, if I leave to go to Ohio and she's in Buffalo, like this just don't work. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this ain't gonna work. She was the one that was like, yo, go ahead. She was like, you need to follow that and do that. Still stay together. I would drive back to see her. She would drive up to see her. And I was just like, at one point, I remember talking to Kyla. Y'all know Kyla. I remember talking to Kyla, and I was like, yo, I think I want to marry this girl. Like, so I proposed to her at the Walgreens that I met her at. And we on 3 years now, right? Yeah, right. I recorded and everything, man. I had her family high and behind, right with a Red Bull and the Yahoos are, man. I had, it was nice, man. And we've been married 3 years, living here, and the first, like you said, the first couple years of marriage, like you're getting into this now, that the first couple years you're really getting to know a person. You got to keep open mind. You got to really communicate and talk, because if you don't, it ain't gonna go well. And y'all gonna fight. Y'all gonna, you know what I'm saying? Y'all may not have no fights. We had no fights at all during our whole dating. As soon as we got married, we had like 3 the first like month, 2 months. And it's like, yo, this is crazy. But it's good that we're having this, like you said, it's good to talk about it, because guys don't really talk about it, especially, publicly, so.
Right. So I met my wife. That's so weird to say. My bad. I'm still like in a new phase or whatever. I still got the ring smell and all that.
Yeah, right. It feels weird to say it. Look, I saw a wedding photo. We got our wedding photos up, and I came across my wedding photo. I'm just like, yo, I really got married. Like, what? Like, I'm married. Like, got a ring, everything. I even be like, phone, wallet, keys, ring. Put my ring on. I go out the door. I'm just like, what? So yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just came back to New York, and I was going to this church. I met this girl, and we kind of started hanging out, whatever. And then she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go out and bring my cousin with me." I was like, "All right, whatever." She's going to this club at Hempstead, which, if you're from New York, you already know it's a bad idea. But whatever. It's an adventure. It was on a Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It was like $2 Tuesday, reggae night in the hood. And
you got to go on reggae night. You got to go on reggae night, man.
So we get there. You pick up my boy Kevin, which y'all both met, and there's a girl coming in the car. I'm like, who that? I was like, man, it's about to go down. So you go to the club. There's like no more than like. It looks like this chat right now. It was like 3 minutes.
Damn.
And you in Hempstead, man. Ain't nobody going out there just randomly. So yeah.
Tuesday, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we was there and the music was fire, but the DJ was on point. So like we was just dancing. I was always, y'all know me. Y'all know how I party, whatever. So, me and her was dancing the whole night. And she was like, oh, I'm in the music, I do this, I do that. And everything was like just seemed perfect. And then I remember her saying like the night was like perfect. And then I think in the morning she was like, oh, I gotta get home because I gotta watch my son. And I was like, no. Mind you, I'm like 23. Fresh off the streets. Still smelling like garbage. And I was like, but she's so dope. I gotta at least be around her. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we would still hang all the time. There's times I would bring him with me. Mind you, he was like 6 months or something like that. But still, let's go here, let's go there. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And then I think I was playing games. Well, we were both playing games. Because, like, I wasn't one to, be in a relationship like that. Because, truth be told, I had just got out of a relationship at that time. But anyway, so I was like, I'm going to see how much I can, how far I can go with whatever. And she was like, nope. She dubbed it. She wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, without any kind of commitment. So I had to respect it. So I think fast forward, I get flew out to California and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm just running the streets doing what I do. Keeping my options open, if you will. And then we fast forward to last summer. And I occasionally, like during this time, this is like 10 years later, during that time, like she would like maybe hit me up on like Instagram every once in a while or like Twitter or whatever. But it would never go anywhere. Just like, typical stuff like, hey, you're still alive. Okay. Just checking on you. Bye. That kind of thing. The games women play.
Okay.
So I go to my boy's video shoot. I'm thinking it's going to be at a club. But it was a strip club. Okay. I wasn't aware of that. So I'm there and I'm like, well, I wasn't expecting this, but and then it just so happened that I saw her sister. And I was like, yo, what's good? Whatever. And then I saw her and I was like, oh, damn. Now, mind you, we all had like mutual friends and stuff like that. Maybe like a month before, her friend, she was very big on like, manifesting things. Like you talk about things and then like all of a sudden like it just like coming to fruition like almost instantly. Mm-hmm. And I was like, she's been on my mind lately, like always thinking about what if, whatever, because honestly we could do anything. I took her to see Prince, I took her to see Maxwell, we went to bonfires, like whatever. We could just chill in the car like losers. You know what I'm saying? Like
you could be yourself.
Yeah, like back when you were a teenager and you can't afford hotel money, you just chilling in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me and her. You know what I'm saying? So, the fact that she was just on my mind, and I was having my hot boy summer and all that. I'm not gonna hold you. And then she just asserted herself to the front of the line, like, and we had only really been dating. We haven't even been dating a year, but I just knew. Because again, we just had that framework initially from us just being friends. and kicking and stuff like that. So, I mean, after I don't even be like keep it count. I just remember, when I made it official that we were exclusive and when we got married. That's the only thing that really matters, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say the marriage when you propose and the day y'all get married. That's the only one that matters.
Yeah.
Facts.
Day y'all first met, you ain't gonna remember the day. Just remember how it happened.
Yeah. Okay. I trust y'all.
Yeah, nah. Remember the wedding day. That's the one you wanna be ready for it. Don't be late on the wedding day. I just one of my friends, he had me be in his wedding kind of at the last minute. Someone dropped out, things happened. But I was in his wedding and he was setting things up for his wedding he bakes. So he was baking some like her favorite treats and cakes and things like that. And this is 15 minutes before he was supposed to be at the wedding, and he on the other side of town. So, so he was late to his own wedding. I was gonna kill him. I was about to go down there and get him, but he ended up making it reasonable late. But don't be late. Don't be late to your wedding. That's one thing I told dudes. Like I never thought I had to say that to somebody, but yeah, don't be late.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. But I think what really, I already knew I was gonna marry her, and that we was gonna move to Atlanta because once COVID hit, I was still able to work from home, and she was like a makeup artist at a pretty luxury, she was like a luxury brand or whatever, getting good money, and then I was like, yo, job, let's go.
Okay.
And I think deep down, any girl that ever watched a Disney movie always wants a man to say that. So I said it. And then she was just like, wait, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. Like, we out. And, fast forward, here we are. It's just so crazy, that whole how it just escalated like that. And, initially we were just trying to find an apartment, ended up getting a house. And, during the time, unemployment is crazy and all other stuff, I'm just very, very fortunate, very blessed, and very grateful that I'm able to be in this position right now. Not balling, but I feel like it.
Hey, more than our money in our days in college is going to the thrifty nifty. So you're doing good.
I still got
doing good.
I still got some suits from there. They stood the test of time. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know if I can still fit them.
I bet. I can't fit none of my stuff either, man. I ain't the same skinny LA. I got the dad bod now is what they call it. I ain't no dad yet, but I got the dad bod now.
Man, don't even get started on that.
So he's like, nah, we can't complain. Is that what you're saying? We can't complain
at all. You're fine.
You can never complain.
Bruh. I got the freshman 15 for the last 10 years.
10 years? Okay.
So with getting into these relationships, how do you think it's changed you? And how you interact?
With how do I interact with my spouse or just in general with everyone else?
People around you.
I mean, when I won't say that it's changed me too much. I think, and maybe BG can say this, where it's as a man, when we want to get a girl, we put on this show, right? We put the clothes on, we get dolled up, we get everything nice, and we go out there, we put this face on, and maybe it's not somebody that we really are, right? And at least with my wife, or the way I feel, and most guys that I've talked to when they get married, when they find that woman, they don't have to be someone else. So, you change to a degree, because when you get married, there's some things that you really got to talk about that you may not even thought about, finances, down to simple things like, what you gonna eat tonight. You know what I'm saying? Usually if it's just you, I feel like getting this, I'm gonna get this. Can't do that. What you gonna spend money on, or am I gonna buy these kicks? And well, no, I can't do that because we got this bill to pay, And in your case, y'all going from New York to Atlanta. That's where you're at now, right? In Atlanta, just getting around is probably way different. You got to budget things differently. So I think the biggest thing is just I got to be myself a lot more. And when you get married as a man, you feel like you are, or at least most men, hopefully, feel like they need to be the king of their castle, where not to control things, but kind of be a leader. So if you're not used to being a leader, that's something that may have to change, because now you're supposed to be that leader. I know BJ was in band and things like that. So when you get to a certain level, you're the head. You know what I'm saying? You're the leader. Everyone's looking to you for answers and questions. It's sort of like that for marriage. There's another type of pressure that you have to deal with. I'll say being the oldest kind of helped me with that a little bit. Having siblings and things like that. Just sports, things like that. But you do have to be that leader. They look for you to be the leader. They want you to be that leader. And the reason why you marry them most likely is because, like you said, they empower you to be that leader.
Mm-hmm.
They got your back while you make these decisions, but you do have to consult. I think that's one thing we got to get used to as Black men, consulting our wives about certain things and then making that decision, and them being okay with us making that decision as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, you pretty much summed it up well. Going from single men that 9 times out of 10 we only think about ourselves, or the next 5 or 10 minutes, to having to consider someone else's feelings, their thoughts, everything. So we really have to, like you said, take a step back, make sure we consider other things, consider our spouse. Like you said, we have to be able to nurture one another, consider what they think. Like you said, even the smallest things of what are we eating. When we were, in college, we didn't care. We was like, all right, we hitting the calf, bet. What time?
Yeah,
That's it.
just go there.
It was nothing else to it. Oh, word, we getting Chinese tonight? Bet. We going across the street, we getting Chinese. That's it. When you get married, you either have to plan out your meals if y'all gonna cook, or, throughout the day, it's like, hey, what are we eating tonight? What would you like? Or, hey, I got a taste for this. Do you want to get that? So it's always give and take in a relationship, especially once you're married, because you're there to have a lifelong partner. So you want to make sure that you're happy just as well as he or she is happy. So it's always small things you got to consider, as well as large things. Finances. Like you said, you did a drastic move. You went from the north to the south, basically. So she may not know anything about the South, Georgia, whatever the case is. It's a lot of variables that can be interchanged in relationships. And I know for me, I've always been a nurturer, and I know y'all, can attest to it too. I would always check on everybody. Y'all good? Y'all ate? Y'all need food? Anybody sick? I'm that type of person, just from, growing up, having older parents and having to take care of my grandparents. So I saw all of that when I was younger. So that kind of stuck with me more or less as I got older and into my marriage. So some of that stuff really helps out and will make your marriage smoother, to be able to, go back and forth and play off of each other.
I think one thing I was gonna say is, it's not that you have to change. It's that all the things that you're used to doing, they're gonna be amplified. So you're used to being a leader for yourself or for a friend or for your group, whatever. Like you said, when you go out to work, you know how to do certain things, but now it's amplified because it's not just you. It's almost the same way when people have kids, where every decision I make right now, it ain't for me. I'm making this decision for my family, for my wife, and you care about her to the point where, like, I don't want to make a bad decision. I don't want to make the decision that, so all of a sudden she like, I can't be with you no more because, we in a cardboard box now, so, I won't say that, I won't say anything has to change. It's just everything is amplified. Like, all your decisions now are amplified, and it's a little scary, but, as long as you, like I said, as long as y'all communicate, and if you're Christian, if you're not, if you're Christian, pray. Of course, I'm Christian, so praying, looking to God for answers and things like that as well. If you're not, communicate, talk to each other. Like I said, I tell people all the time, whether you're Christian or not, you need to communicate. I don't care what it is. Men, we have a hard time expressing our feelings sometimes, or expressing what we joke about women about it, but we don't know how to express our feelings either at times. So being open about everything, our situations, stress, you're stressing out over work, something like that, let them know. They should be there to help you as well, and you're there to help them.
Word. So how I changed, I've always been the person that always could just get up and go. You know, I always that was always my thing. You know, I'm young, I ain't got no kids. Like I could get a job in Thailand making $1 million, and I would just go without even thinking about it. That was always had loved that option. Can't do none of that no more.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah.
and you know, just being able to, you know, LA was talking about like, you know, the facade that, you know, men put up when they first, you know, trying to get a girl and stuff like that. What women do is they are testers. They're going to test you to see if you are who you say you are. So if you're presenting yourself as that nigga, you better be that nigga. So, you know, I had presented myself to my wife as a gentleman that was kind of a jerk sometimes, you know. I had jokes or whatever. Y'all know me. But, you know, it went from, and not the corny gentleman like, you know, your seat, madame, you know, nothing like that. But, like, you know, like something funny, like, you know, she try to open the door and I slap her hand like, only whores open doors. You know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just look, this
Okay.
don't hold it against me. But, you know what I'm saying? So just that and being able to be myself was so real. Like, it was so welcome because I could be a lot. You know, I have a lot of women friends, and they're like, yo, like, I want to be happy for you, but you be crazy. Like, you be saying mad stuff. Like, I don't know how women don't be putting their hands on you. It's like, you know? But someone actually understand that, get it, you know what I'm saying, and not take it personal, realize it's not coming from a malicious place because I'm too carefree to be malicious. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, having someone with thick skin that gets it, that, you know, can check me when I'm out of bounds and, you know, can also take the criticism when they out of bounds. That's the biggest thing, you know. It's checks and balances. We're making sure that we're both staying on point because this is a team effort right here. And we're not keeping score. We're just trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basic. I mean, I've always, you know, I've listened to like a lot of relationship podcasts and stuff like that. And, you know, even in my even back in school, like, you know, they used to have like the relationship forums and stuff like that, and I would say my little stuff and girl, oh, that's cute, whatever. But you know what I was really trying to do. But anyway, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But to actually like live, you know, practice what I'm preaching, practice what I'm preaching is just like it's different because she, you know, called me out on being who I said I was. And so now I gotta deliver. You know, and whatever you give your woman, she's going to amplify. So if you give her a stand-up guy, she's going to make you a kingdom. You know what I'm saying? If you give her the trash, you know, you're just going to be in a toxic situation. So, you know, I'm very grateful for that. And, you know, the fact that it just kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people. Because the last girl I posted, for real, was like in like 2006, 7, something like that. Like, I always used to keep my relationships on the wraps because I'm just seeing like all the people that would like have a bunch of pictures or these couple pictures and all of a sudden it just disappears. Like, I'm not doing that. Right. I'm not answering questions. I'm like, nah. And plus, it's goofy. I'm scaring my hoes away. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset then. You know what I'm saying? So
she around the corner. She look at what hoes. You talk about what I'm gonna say. What? You say it.
Nah, I'm good, trust me. But you know, I just, you know, to do that, to like from that to this is just is crazy. And I think one of the biggest things that I already knew I was going to marry her, but what really like made it real for me, and I'll ask y'all when it was real for y'all, was when I broke my leg. Like I broke my leg in July. At that time I was living in Queens, but I just went out to Long Island because that's where she was at. And basically, she became my nurse. She became my living nurse. She got her way into my mom's crib. And, you know, considering, you know, it was a situation, not bulldog for it, but the fact that, you know, she was my fiance, that was cool instead of, you know, 2 boyfriend and girlfriends playing house. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So she got really good. She got in real good with my mom. You know, she was always, you know, cool with my dad and stuff like that. So they were able to build that relationship. And just something as simple as helping me walk to the bathroom. Well, not walk, but hobble to the bathroom. Let's keep it a band. Like, you know what I'm saying? And my first sponge bath. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, see, everyone talks about, we went through hell and back, which means like, oh yeah, I used to beat her, she used to beat me. I had a couple kids on her, whatever. Like, no, this is what it's about right here. Through sickness and in health. When I can't take care of myself, you're taking care of me because you understand the bigger picture. You help me get back on my feet and vice versa because we understand the bigger picture. That's when like I didn't have any doubts, like at all. So I guess when did y'all know that like, yo, this is real? We'll start with BG because LA went first last time.
Probably shouldn't say why, but when I was pledging, actually,
Okay.
that's when I was like, all right, yeah, this gonna be the one right here for sure, because she got a few phone calls that I wasn't supposed to be making, and yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I think the time that I knew is, I think I talked about it a little bit, is when I got the job offer to come to Cleveland from Buffalo. And in my mind, because we had only been dating for maybe like 7-8 months. Like we were friends for like maybe like 5 or 6 months. And then we were like, okay, well, let's go on a couple of dates. I cut off, all my other friends, you know what I'm saying? I cut them off, and I was like, right, friends. So I cut them off, and, we were serious dating, and I was just like, all right, cool. And then when I got this job offer, I was actually a little scared. Like I said, I was scared that, you know what, if I go to Ohio, knowing me, being, what I'm saying, I'm gonna be out here looking at these girls, and I got a girl back at home, like, man, this ain't gonna work. I'm gonna mess up. Like, I don't want to do that with her. Like, if she want to break up with me, she gonna break up with me right here before I leave. And she was like, I will ask her, I was like, yo, do you really think I should go? And like, what about our relationship? I'm kind of nervous. She was like, you should go. Like, I'm gonna visit you. I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna come to Ohio. You can come to Buffalo. Like, what's the problem? Like, she made me very comfortable. It's like, why are you putting things on hold or think about things that's not gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Giving me that trust in myself and that faith in myself. Like, you know what? I can do this. So that was the moment right there. I was like, yo, this girl right here, I think it's something we gonna end up marrying, or I might marry this girl. Like, it was serious. Like, I'm gonna marry this girl. When I got the ring, I think that's when I was like, when I was looking up rings, maybe like 7-8 months before I proposed to her, I was looking up rings. That's when it started getting real. Like, yo, yeah, I'm gonna marry her, and I'm getting this ring right now.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, I'm not gonna say all couples, but most of them have that situation where it was like you're gonna take a leap on faith, and like, maybe like a job in another state or maybe like another country, something like that. You got a crossroad in your relationship. And I've always been the kind of person just like, yo, like, a relationship is two complete people that are together, not two halves to make a whole, in my mind. Because if you have two halves, then you're nothing without that other person. So you need to be whole yourself before you get with somebody like that. So I would never, be that kind of person who's just like, because actually when I ran into my wife, she was like, after all them years, she said she's trying to move to Atlanta, whatever. I was just like, oh, so, I had this roster here. I could probably still run this for a little bit and see what happens. Try to do a little Hail Mary, something. That ain't happen.
No.
So the fact that, COVID happens and I'm like, all right, well, after your job, we move us to Atlanta now, on some like, I'm going to make your dreams come true kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that meant a lot, to her, to everything. Like, it just all came full circle. So, yeah. And again, that's a situation where like I can work from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very thankful for that, because the job that I got, I think this is the only job I applied to twice. Because you're not gonna dub me twice. Like, nah. Like, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. But we had went to this dance class, and it just so happened to be in the same building, and in Manhattan as like where my job was at. And I was like, you know what?
Fly her again.
Let me shoot my shot. You know what I'm saying? It was about a year ago. Let me shoot my shot again. And I got it. So,
That's good. That's good. No, that's definitely good to do. I know when we got married, she came to Cleveland, dropped her job, came here, and I was making enough where basically I could support both of us from the career that I was having. So when she came here, I was like, look, when you come here the first 6, 7 months, don't worry about nothing. Get your head together, start looking into a career, not a job. You know what I'm saying? Look into what you want to do. We have been talking about that, some businesses that she wanted to do and start up. So, um, sorry, some business things she wanted to start up. So, we did, and she ended up getting a job. She's actually now she's back in educational tech, where she has started in Buffalo, but she can work remotely now, making a whole lot more than what she was doing before. So, and like I said, it's refreshing to be yourself. I think that's what a lot of guys, a lot of married guys will tell you, when they find out, like, it's refreshing where I can lead without that stress. I was just listening to someone, and it was a woman, and she was saying a lot of women out here, you want to build a man, but you don't want to build up a man. You don't want to build with him. You want to build a man. Like, you can't create your perfect man. That's just not stop. You know what I'm saying? A man's going to change for the one that he loves, the one that he wants to be with. If you're out here trying to make men or build a man or mold him, whatever way you want, it's going to fail. So, yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's great. I just want to make sure you said, so the moment that you realized is when you couldn't walk and you was getting a sponge bath, butt naked in the tub. Okay, cool, just make sure. Oh, that would probably be my point too. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice back rub right here. Go ahead, get that spot. Hey, right there, right here. Get between that knee crack right there for me.
Like, I didn't even have, because I had a what's it called? I had like an upstairs. It was like 2.5 bath in my mama's house, and there was no tub. It was just a bathroom. So
Okay.
I had to be like in the sink because I couldn't go upstairs. Like, so I had to take crutches.
So you just stood up and got a whole sponge bath.
Yes. It was like, I felt like a scene for The Color Purple. I don't know why.
Hey, you got the dreads, anime. So we'll leave it. Yeah, eat the cake.
Yeah. Oh man. But no, I just being at that lowest point, and I've never really been at that point, especially not in front of a woman, because I don't know,
it's a weakness. It's a sign of weakness. We're taught as men not to show weakness like that everywhere we go. That macho attitude, I guess they like to say. Even when we're hurt, oh, I'm good. You hobbling, you in pain. I'm good.
Right.
And that's why a lot of guys now, they don't go to the hospital for their checkups. Colon cancer and all those things like that. We get into the age now where, like, gotta get stuff checked out. You know what I'm saying? Might be a while before I go for the colon cancer checkout, but that's just me. But we still need to go for regular visits. And that's that macho thing. You didn't want to look weak in front of your wife. You're her protector, you're her provider. You don't want to look like that. So that can be, that's a good thing, I think, for all of us. The moment that we really realize that she's the one for us is that at our most vulnerable moments, they were there for us and didn't judge us for our vulnerable moments. RBG was online, he had, having a tough time. He got his vulnerable moment and he called somebody, and it's like, she ain't judge him. She ain't call him no pussy. She ain't say he, scrub or, something like that. Like, did not play him. You know what I'm saying? When I was getting ready to leave, or when I was still living with my mom when I came back, and it was like, she ain't play me. She ain't let me take her on. She let me take her on the date. Like, didn't try to make me feel like less of a man because of my situation at my lowest moment. So, that I think that's kind of one of the things that a lot of guys I listen to when they talk about when they know their wives, like, at my lowest, she was there. That whole Kobe joint, God rest his soul. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Right.
She was there with you in the gym. You know what I'm saying? And that girl right there, I'm keeping her. Like, ain't gonna tell me nothing. Ain't gonna tell me no different. We get married. So.
Word. I got a tough question for you guys. We're gonna start with BG. Who would you say you are as a husband?
That is a tough one. I really don't know how to answer. I mean, that's a
It's
tough
a
thing.
loaded
I mean,
question.
huh?
That's a loaded question. Like,
Right?
you
Yeah.
gotta,
It's
yeah,
like
like, who do I
it's
am? You know.
way loaded. I mean, it's a lot of different ways that could be answered and handled. But just like any married man or man that's in a committed relationship, you're gonna look at yourself as a provider, hopefully a confidant for your spouse, um, a protector from most women. They don't like bugs or harm or anything like that. So you're gonna be her knight in shining armor, per se. That's how I look at myself, because um, I'm always going to protect my wife. I'm going to make sure she's safe and she's, good to go regardless, even if it, comes down to me being harmed. I'd rather put myself in that position, than it be her. So I would definitely say a provider, a protector, a confidant, a best friend. I mean, that's the biggest thing, honestly. We've been, the best of friends since the beginning of our relationship. So I would say the biggest thing is a best friend, a provider, and a protector.
I would agree with BG, on a lot of those things where it's, the only thing I would probably add is, a little cliche, but be her king. She's my queen. I'm gonna be all the things that I need to be for her. There's no specific role. It's gonna change. It's gonna change per day. She
True.
may not be able to talk to her girlfriends about something. She got to talk to you about it. She may not. Women go through the more, and BG tell you, the more and more you're around your wife, and the more you understand what women go through emotionally on a day-to-day basis, what they think about, especially when they care about you. What they think about. It will drive you crazy. It will blow your mind. You'd be like, you were thinking about that? Like that didn't
Right.
cross my mind. I wasn't thinking about that. Like, you don't have to worry about that. Like, relax. It's okay. So a lot of the times for me, I feel like I am reassuring my wife, like, hey, I love you. You don't have to be something that society is trying to make you out to be. No, she doesn't always try to do that, but like they still think about those things. They see this stuff on TV, they see relationships. It's like, well, am I doing the right thing for him? Am I being a good wife? A lot of women question themselves. Are they being a good wife at times? Especially to men that are intellectual. I can cook. I know BG can cook. So it's probably times that he's cooking. She's been like, well, ain't I supposed to cook? Well, yeah, but it's okay, babe. I can cook. Like, there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. I still love you. You still my wife. Like, it's cool. So that's something that you may go through, with your wife. And it's like, I think just, it's nothing set in stone. Like I said, just as I said, a king, a provider, confidant. I mean, you sort of got to be everything. I was gonna reference what you're saying about the two completes being a half. That's a huge thing, because if you go into your marriage or even a relationship thinking that this person is going to fill a void for you, you're gonna end up leaving that person, because that void, whatever it is, that can't be filled by a person, because they're gonna eventually fail you. You know,
Right.
at some point, your wife gonna make you mad. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like angry, like, yo, why did you do that? Like, you're gonna be mad. And if you only have her there to fill a void, when she fails, you're gonna be like, what is this for? Why am I doing this? And you never want to be at that point. So you do, like you say, you want to be complete. So I just kind of want to revisit that, because you had said that was real important. But yeah, just being a king, just being everything just being the best husband that I can be for her. That's what I would say my role is. Just being the best husband I can be.
As far as my answer goes, protector, provider, confidant, definitely best friend, business partner, someone I can strategize with. Like, we'll look at something and just be like, you know what, this would be good if, like, we know this person making this amount of money doing this, or someone can make a lot of money doing whatever. Let's think of something. Let's put it together. That kind of thing. But also, I think the biggest thing for me as a husband is just being the best me that I can be so that she can reap the benefits of it. You know, I've had a lot of friends around me in relationships. I was always a single friend. Ask anybody, they'll tell you. I was always a single friend doing single friend stuff around people in relationships because, you know, it's just funny that way. And, you know, but whenever like people would go through, tell me about their relationship problems, I'm like, what are you doing for you? Because, and that's the best advice. Like, as a man, I can speak for women because I'm a woman. But as a man, like, you have to better yourself. Bettering yourself makes everything fall into place. It's just like by default. It's like just a chain reaction. So a situation where like your wife's always on your back about whatever, about I don't know, because you know, in my situation right now, you know, my wife doesn't have to work. Like I said, I ain't balling, but I kind of feel like it a little bit. But you know, a situation like most women hate their jobs, and you know, a lot of them.
Most people hate their jobs.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
and most women that have to work may resent their man for not, you know, I guess providing, if you will, to a space where she had. Because there's people that like maybe like work part time because they want to get out the house or whatever, and you could tell who those people are at your job or whatever. But then there's certain people that like they just have to work. They're working 2 jobs, and it's just like, damn, but you got a man? You know what I'm saying? And not to shame nobody and nothing like that, but if you're not providing, there's gonna be a point where like she's gonna resent you because she trusted you to provide for her. And again, if she feels she has to do something, like if she has to, like my wife will work if she wants to. Like, and she keeps trying to find work, but then she's like, you know what? Maybe I just shouldn't. Maybe I should just focus on my business. I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody has that luxury, but you need to work towards that. And again, that's just you being a better version of yourself, and your wife being happy is just a side effect because you're doing better for yourself. Not just with like financially, just like mentally, physically, all of that. Like if you better yourself, she's going to have to step up because again, whatever you give her, she's going to multiply. So if you're the best version of yourself, she's going to multiply that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess to, you know, sum it all up in a very ignorant way, balls up with your bitch ass.
I guess you can say that.
Yeah.
I guess you can say that. I mean, to what you were saying, you know, it's a little different. You know, I mean, I don't have any kids. So when it comes to children, you know, women really do, most women, I won't say all because there are some women that don't, but most women want to be home with their child, especially in the early ages, you know. And if they can't, you know, it can be a little frustrating. It can be upsetting. You know, they got, like you said, they have to go to work. It's not like they have that choice, you know, and giving your wife that freedom can definitely go a long way. I agree with, you know, being a better version of yourself. But it's not just for you. See, and that's the kind of weird thing where it's like, you think it's, you know, for you, you're not being a better version of you, because if it's a better version for you, you still wouldn't even be married, because the better version of you doesn't change whether or not you get married or not. If you were a better version of yourself before you got married, that's still the same better version of yourself after. The difference now is you're being the best version of yourself for someone else, right? So the best version of me that was single is not the same best version of me married. It's two different versions, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys kind of forget that, or a lot of guys kind of separate the two, you know, or they don't realize that, like, yo, this best version that I'm being is for my wife, it's for my kids, it's for my family, and I'm gonna do everything I can until there's no breath left, so that they can benefit from that, you know. And I can see that's what you're doing, you know, with your wife and going to Atlanta. You let her get into her business so that later on, you know, her child can see, oh, mommy got a business, daddy work, or mommy and daddy got a business. I don't have to go out and get a job. I can do a business too. You know, that's something. That's a topic for another discussion. But it's one of those things where that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You make that sacrifice now, and it pay off. Later on.
Yeah, definitely. I get what you're saying with that, because you're bettering yourself not just for you. You're bettering yourself for like your wife and everything like that. It's in your family, your household. There's more at stake, so there's a bigger incentive to just because like when it's just you, like, and prime example, like me, like outside of my marriage, and this is another reason how I changed. Like I was like, yeah, I'll get this good job, I'll do whatever, and I'll just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like I've left the house so many times and always came back to my mama's house. Like California, came back. Went to California twice, came back. You know what I'm saying? I went to Virginia, came back. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always been trying to like, leave and do whatever. And it's always like something that was like short-sighted. And then, this wife comes along and, I'm more responsible. Like, and my dad was like the first one to notice it. He goes, "You giving me a birthday gift? Damn, that woman this. You never gave me a birthday gift." I'm like, yeah. Like, it's to the point where like every little bit of growth he attributes to her, and I'm like, yo, like I'm kind of a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not all her.
Nah, it's her.
It's gonna be the wife. It's gonna always be
her. It's her. It's her. It's definitely her. Can't wait to meet her. It's definitely her.
Right.
But you're right though. Like even me. I left to go to school in Virginia. Came back. I left to go to I went to DC for a while. You know what I'm saying? Left, came back, and it's like every time, you have that, now that you're in Atlanta, now with your wife, you're not thinking about going back. It's not even a question that, what, I may have to go back with my mom. It's like, if I gotta go back to New York, you're gonna have your own place with your wife and your child. Like there's not gonna be you can say that's another level of responsibility. You were pretty responsible before. You traveled, you took care of yourself, you didn't have to do things, but like you said, there's more at stake now. It's like, what? I could say before it was, if I fail, I can come back from it. I know how to dig myself out. Now there's no option. You cannot fail, because it's not just you now. You holding somebody else in the palm of your hand, not just you.
Right.
So it definitely the stakes are higher. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, once you have your wife, like you said, you're more responsible. I would say the same thing. I've always been very responsible and taking care of business, but there's a whole nother level that you take on once you're married. You're gonna always make sure that things are done. Like you said, you don't want to forget your anniversary date. You're gonna start making sure you got gifts. You're gonna do the small things that she likes. So you're always going to have a continuous cycle of bettering yourself to make her happy, keep yourself happy, to have a strong marriage. It's just going to be a continuous cycle, honestly, until, you pass, to be a better man for yourself and for your wife.
All right. Last, I guess is a question. So my uncle said this a while ago. He's been married for over 30 years. And he said, very, very smart guy, like genius level IQ. Like, so smart it's kind of scary.
Okay.
Some people like to say a little bit of smart things, and then around, semi-smart people, like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, nah, he was like, yo, don't be saying that shit if you don't know it, like, front to back. All right, player, you got it. He's one of those kind of people. So he was like, I've been married to my wife for 30 years. And through that time, we've grown and we've evolved so much. And the key to it is, making sure that when you're growing and evolving, that's going in the same direction. So how important do you think it is to notice that growth, notice that, oh, you're starting to get into this. Oh, I'm starting to get into that. How important is that to like know that early on, and like what can you do to make sure that you're both growing in the same direction and not apart?
Communication. That's always the basis of everything. Communication. I would say for me, honestly, it's been a few times where I wanted to give up my hobby of being a DJ, and my wife was like, "No, you're not gonna do it. You invested a lot of time and money into it. You're gonna stick with it." She's helped me book gigs. She's gotten gigs for me. She's always there. She's pretty much been the person that's pushed me and catapulted me in the last 5 years with my DJ business. So honestly, communication is going to be your main thing that you're always going to want to have open with your spouse. That's going to give you those hints of maybe he or she is thinking about something else and we aren't on the same page. We need to sit down, map this out, and say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I expect. This is what the outcome that I'm looking at. And either you all come to a mutual agreement on what that path would look like, how it would be, what your outcome will become, or in some cases, agree to disagree and move forward, from whatever that, situation may be. And you all more or less can stay aligned and have an idea of where you all are going. And, like your uncle said, 30 years with the same person, you're going to evolve constantly. And it's going to be different phases in your marriage and in your life that are going to change how you think, how you live, how you react to things, a multitude of different things. So, like I said, just the communication, that's going to be your biggest factor to more or less stay aligned with your spouse. So that way you all know what your objectives are, what your goals are, what you want to do, where you want to go, and where you see yourselves as a couple or as individuals, to be that power couple per se.
I would definitely agree. But basically everything he said communication, and not just talking. A lot of people think communication is just telling the other person how you feel, but listening, really listening to your spouse and your spouse listening to you. It's a two-way street. I know we're talking about us as guys, and sometimes, we have the tendency to be like, oh, should be talking to us, and we'll zone her out. Oh yeah, babe, I got you. Yeah, whatever. No, I'll close that. I'll get the garbage later. Yeah, go back to playing my games. So, talking and listening. Also, your second question, it is important. You both growing in the same direction, because you can grow apart. So many times you'll hear about couples been together 30, 40, 50 years, all of a sudden they divorce. And you'd be like, after the kids leave, that's because they've been parents, but they never was friends before they was parents, or they never was together. They was never a married couple before these parents. And all of a sudden now there's no kids. They don't have to be parents anymore. Now they got to be a couple now, and they have no idea who this other person is on the other side of the bed. They're like, I don't even know this person. Right. I have no idea who it is. So definitely just having, and also like you said, just having a goal. He's got his DJ thing and his wife's got his back, all the way. She's pushing him. When he don't feel like doing it, she's pushing him. Your wife's got her business. So, it seems it's reverse for you, where it's like, I'm gonna push her and make sure that when she get to where she's, somebody's always got her back. And if y'all both have that same goal in mind, I personally think, I ain't at 30 years yet, but I'm at 3. So I think it definitely, if you have that same goal in mind, it makes things a million times easier.
Word. I think that I heard someone talk about this before with relationships, is that, a man has to have a vision, and the man and the woman's vision have to align. If they do not align, you're wasting your time. Not to rhyme, but whatever.
Okay. New York.
But like seriously, like, you have a vision, like, BG's thing is like, this DJ business and everything like that. If if that didn't align, like if her values didn't align with that vision, then it's gonna be trouble in paradise. But she was able to align her values with that vision, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. That's why they were able to, be 12 years strong. Before, because before the marriage is like you're setting the foundation, and then once you get to the marriage, that's really when it all begins. You know what I'm saying? We're at level one. We're in the beginning stages of the rest of our lives at this point. Everyone thinks marriage is the end goal. Like, nah, you just getting started, player. So,
oh yeah.
So it's just making sure that our visions align, our values align, and just having check-ins, like being not getting so caught up in the day-to-day of work, school, kids, to not realize that this person is changing. Making time for them, because what happens is again, work, like all these distractions. I want to do another show about how work is a scam, but I'm gonna say that for later. Whole little hustle thing, like work.
Oh yeah, it is.
Right before you die, you can retire or something. Like, nah. But anyway, with all of that going on, all these distractions and stuff like that, it's like, nah, I gotta make time to to the person I made this commitment to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta make sure that I'm on point. Gotta make sure that, like, because what I do represents her, and what she does represents me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep that in mind. I gotta keep that in mind with my female friends. They all know the deal. They understand that certain boundaries can't be crossed. We can't joke like that no more. Or I'm just gonna I'm gonna block
it. Yeah. No 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Nah, you can't call me at 10. Can't call me at 10 o'clock.
My joint is going do not disturb after 10 o'clock.
9
o'clock. 9.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, just not putting yourself in those kind of situations. And honestly, like, I know a lot of times people say that, like, well, the narrative is that staying faithful and all this other stuff is like such a hard thing to do. It's really not if you actually dig the person that you're with.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm just talking as a newbie. I don't know.
I won't say that it's not hard to stay faithful or anything like that. I think what happens is the longer you're in a relationship with the same person, when you're single, you're used to new. You're used to new and shiny. And what happens is when you're married, it can become monotonous. You know what I'm saying? It's the same person every day. Like if you logically, say it out loud, it's like, yo, marriage is the craziest thing anyone can ever do. You literally taking two people that were not raised the same, different values, most likely, different everything. And you expect us to live together under the same house for the rest of our lives until we die. You can't even live with your siblings under the same house for like 2 or 3 years. So you expect me, and we were raised the same. We got blood. So
right.
How you expect me to do it with somebody that I ain't even blood related to? So putting it like that, when you hear that, it's like, wow, marriage is insane. But and it's the reason why it's also the most beautiful thing, because exactly of that. You care about this person. Technically, you don't have to care about it all so much that you're willing to. My wife says this to the group of women that she mentors, that every day you have to kill a piece of yourself. Right? That sounds bad, right? But when you look at it, it's you kill a piece of that old self of you, that single self. You kill a piece of that self every day, and you replace it with the other person. And of course, vice versa. You got to kill a piece of yourself every day, because if you don't, you will end up reverting back to your single self. And it ain't. And most people that do cheat or step out, it's not because they was bored at home or something like that. It was because they lost faith in their marriage. They lost faith in it. And it was like, you know what? This don't matter no more. I don't care about this no more. Or this ain't that important to me anymore. As long as you keep it important to you, like you said, it's not going. I mean, you might get tempted. Of course, you're gonna get tempted. Like that's what Instagram is for. They tempt you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to tempt you. It's going to happen. I can't imagine if I was like some big name person or something like that, just DMs all day or something like that. But if you go to work, Wait, BJ, DJ? Oh, I know. I got a couple cousins that DJ. I know the women that be coming up to the DJ booth, and you be like, really? Like, I am married. You know that, right? Like, it don't. I'll put it like this: the ring on your finger don't stop them. I will tell you that right now. If anything, it makes it worse.
It's a magnet.
It's a magnet. So I will say that you'll be like, really,
Right.
really? Like, I have to point to this for you? Yeah. Like, no, it can. There are some women that will respect it, but we all know the women out there don't care. They don't care. So, it's up to us as men to just, if you keep, like I said, as long as you keep it, as they say, exciting, your marriage, you know what I'm saying, and it's your best friend, you're not gonna want to hurt your best friend. You know,
Right.
if you see it like that, you don't want to hurt your best friend. That's the whole, that's your family. You know what I'm saying? Your brother, your sister. You got to think of it almost like that, where I don't want to hurt this person. Why would I, for just a couple minutes, you know, of something that I'm gonna get when I get home anyway? Like, like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't understand. I love that, man. I come in the house, kick in the door, on the bed. Thank you. You know what? Like, you can do that now. Like, you can do that. You can do that. Like, yeah, right. You can do that. You would say, hey, babe, yo, I've had a long day. I got you. Okay, word. Like that. I think that's what people get caught up in, like the social media stuff of. It's like, no, like, it's not that difficult to be faithful as long as you are treating that marriage the way you're supposed to be treating it. Or if you got into the marriage for the wrong reason, of course it's hard to stay faithful. You weren't supposed to be married in the first place. You weren't supposed to be married in the first place. I truly believe that guys that step out, or even women that step out on their wives and husbands, you weren't supposed to be married in the first place. You didn't want to be in that marriage. You like the idea of it. You like the idea of someone being home, but that's not what you wanted. That's not what you wanted at all.
All right, so we're gonna leave it. Going to sign out. Just last final words for all the single people out there. Words of advice for the single brothers out there. Thinking about going steady with their baby mother, like 6 kids, 20 years, and he still ain't put a ring on it. What can you tell them?
Stop shacking.
Yeah, stop.
Shacking. But all seriousness, though, learn your mate. That's the biggest thing you need to do. Communication, learn your mate, become best friends first. I see too many people rush into relationships thinking that they know the other person, and it's a year into the marriage and they're filing divorce papers already because they rushed into the marriage thinking it was going to be a candy land, wasn't going to be any work to it. And they didn't realize that people are going to evolve. Things are going to change. Once you get married, things change, honestly. I mean, every day it's going to be a different battle, from temptations from other people, friends that are trying to look inside of your marriage to pick it apart and find things that they can see wrong or see right and want to dub you as, a horrible person or a great person, whatever it is. You have to put all of that to a side and keep your head strong and in the right place. So that way you and your spouse can have the best relationship in marriage that you have. You don't have to worry about anything. The biggest thing is definitely don't let anybody that's outside of your relationship in. Parents, friends, family, whatever. Your relationship is your relationship. What happens in your home, your house, whatever your situation is, it stays there. Nobody else should be putting in their 2 cents into your relationship to tell you how it should be done, what it should look like, when it should be done, anything like that. I won't say, take 30 years to figure out that you're going to marry this lady or this man or whatever, but don't rush at the same time. I mean, I knew after like 2 years, 3 years that I wanted to marry my wife, but it wasn't the right time for neither one of us to do it right then. So, we had that conversation like, hey, I want to marry you. I want to be married to you, but, this is the right time. Have that open dialogue. Take those steps to know that you're going to get to that ultimate goal and settle down and be with that one person. Like a lot of guys out here try to live up to this macho life of having 5 and 6 girlfriends or 8 or 10 women. The DMs are always flooded, with different women or whatever. So, a lot of guys try to say that's cool, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's too much hassle. You chasing your own tail all day long, trying to keep up with what you told to the first girl. If you didn't tell that to the second girl, it's too much. If you got that one lady that's special or one guy that's special, take your time, learn them. Figure out if that's the step you want to take, and go ahead and settle down and do it. It's only going to get better. If you do it the right way, it's going to get better. It's not going to get worse.
What I'm gonna say is because it's funny BG said that because I was gonna say the same thing, yo. For you, Dwayne, for your marriage, yo, it's you and your wife. Your problems y'all have, do not let family, people all up in your business, because at the end of the day, when y'all forgive each other, they don't know y'all forgave each other. So make sure that's just some advice. But for the single dudes out there that's thinking about marriage, if you are lazy, if you don't like working, you know what I'm saying? Don't get married. Marriage is work.
Yeah.
Like marriage is work. Like if you are lazy, if you don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, I don't care, don't get married. Because you're wasting your time and you're wasting her time. Like same thing for women. If you lazy, don't get married because you're just gonna be wasting time. You cannot be lazy in a marriage. It's work. It's real work. Like you said, level 1. You thought single life was hard. Be married. Single life is easy unless you make it hard. You know what I'm saying? It's only hard unless you make it hard. You got 5, 6 women, you juggling, you keeping up. Nah, single life is easy compared to marriage. Like marriage is work. It's good work because at the end of the day, the benefits of it is amazing. It's worth it. But if you don't like the work, if you don't like putting in work, as we say, don't get married. Single dude, he out there with baby mom here and there, and he don't like putting in work. Don't do it, bro, because you will waste both your time. You need to just be a dad. You know what I'm saying? You can be co-parents. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. And when you find the right woman, you know what I'm saying, you'll know because you're willing to put that work in for her. That's what I will say to single men. Like the person you're married is the person you're willing to put work in for. If you're not willing to put work in for her, then don't get married. Don't even attempt it because it's just a waste of time.
So for all the brothers out there, I just want to say, you can run the streets as long as you want to, but at some point you got to come home when the street lights come on. So
okay. Pastor Johnson over here.
Yeah, that was a fair kind of impersonation. My bad. But seriously, I've been out there. And I know a lot of people that have been out there, in the streets and stuff like that. As far as belonging to the streets, being community peen and all that, and it's an unfulfilling life. You know what I'm saying? It's not stable. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. And plus, one woman is enough. One woman is annoying enough. You know what I'm saying?
I don't need more than one. And,
I've always been a big advocate of, keeping your relationship, to yourselves. I tell I have a lot of women friends. I'm like, look, don't tell me about old boy doing X, Y, and Z and expect me to be, all keying with y'all at the wedding. Just shut up. Don't tell me about it. Figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, that's always been my thing. And, I've been told that several times, and I believe that. When I talk about my wife, it's always something about, how she's an angel, how she's so great, whatever. You'll never catch me talking bad about my wife. And then not just because she's in the next room, she can hear
me. Right? She can hear you, that's why.
But now, so, it's just because I look at it that's me talking bad about her, me talking bad about myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll never do that. I'll never, what is it? Slice my nose and spite my face or something. One of them things them old niggas be saying. But you know what I'm saying? We're together and this is a team effort, and I'm not gonna, do that and make us look bad as a unit. This isn't just some chick I'm messing with on the side. This is some fling. This is some whatever. This is my wife. This is the co-anchor to my legacy. I honestly think if you're trying to be in a marriage, if you're not trying to be a power couple, then what's the point? in my mind. Like, you're just trying to, get together and, do whatever. You just kind of like, float through life, I guess, my nigga. But honestly, like, it should be, you should set your sight, your sight on higher things, doing something that you couldn't accomplish yourself and accomplish that with somebody. And it's just extra dope because they helped you do it. That's my thing. So all this Instagram stuff is for the birds, literally and figuratively. And just be the best version of you. And when you're en route to being your best self, she'll come along. And at that point, you'll be ready and do it like that. Chase and tail is goofy. Don't do it. It's expensive. It's dumb. I done had dates run into other dates on a date. It's goofy. Just don't be that guy. Hopefully so hopefully you don't got to go through that. All right. That's it. All right. So, BG, if anyone wants to find you, support you, do anything like that, where can they find you at?
You can follow me at DJ Intern, DJNTURN, pretty much every platform.
All right, LA.
I'm on Instagram, LA_Flash_23. I do some editing work here and there, nothing too serious, but just living my life. Also, I do give out relationship advice and things like that as well. Part of life group at my church and things like that. So if you got questions or concerns, you can anonymously, send messages and things like that, and be more than happy to give you some sort of advice, some insight on things like that as well.
Oh, you really are Steve Harvey ass nigga. I was just joking.
Yeah. Suit and all.
Yeah, suit and all, right? You see the suit. Yeah, you see the suit.
You can find me where you found me at. Make sure you like and subscribe. Cancel me. It is what it is. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, my brothers, for pulling up. Appreciate y'all.
No problem.